Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
Yes, Minister for Finance, your concluding remark.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there's the need for me to clarify some few points. Right, Honorable Speaker, this amendment bill is rather supposed to strengthen the central bank and not to take its powers away from them. It is rather giving more powers to the central bank. Mr. Speaker, in doing so, let me now begin with the statement made by the minority leader. Mr. Speaker, the very provision that he's making reference to has always been in the Bank of Ghana Act since 2020. Mr. Speaker, it is not new. This provision he's making reference to has always been in the Central Banks Act. The reason why we are seeing it here is that we restated it and added another sub-clause. Mr. Speaker, they are not new. And so I urge the minority leader to go and take the enactment, the original enactment, and compare it with what we are actually passing today. They are not new. Mr. Speaker, let me make this point again. Right, Honorable Speaker.
Tell him to pay attention.
Right, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Minority Leader, can you listen to me? Can you listen to me?
Listen.
Mr. Speaker, they are not new at all. In fact, since the original enactment, there have been 2 amendments, and all of them we have restated it. Mr. Speaker, this is coming on the back of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, let me refer you to Article 183 of the Constitution. The Bank of Ghana shall be the Central Bank of Ghana, 1831, and shall be the only authority to issue the currency of Ghana. 2 says that the Bank of Ghana shall, A, promote and maintain the stability of the currency of Ghana and direct and regulate the currency system in the interest of the economic progress of Ghana. So, Speaker, it goes on to say that, B, it shall be the sole custodian of state funds of Ghana, both in and outside Ghana, and may by notice published in the Gazette authorize any other person or authority to act as a custodian of any such fund as may be specified in this notice. Then C says that encourage and promote economic development. Encourage and promote economic development and the efficient utilization of the resources of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, oftentimes wrong impressions has been created that the central bank's only mandate is price stability. They have a constitutional mandate of economic development. And Mr. Speaker, and that is actually in Article 1833 of the 1992 Constitution. I am not the one who wrote this Constitution. It is the responsibility of the central bank to promote economic development. Mr. Speaker, all what we are seeking to do here is to lift what is in the original enactment because of the new amendment that it contributes to the promotion and maintenance of financial stability in the country. That's all. It is not new. It is not new. It was in the 617, it was in the 917 Act. All of them, the same thing. So, Mr. Speaker, it is not new. Right, Honorable Speaker. Rather, what we are seeking to do here is one, to strengthen the provisions against monetary financing. To stop, in quote, the printing of money. That is what we are seeking to do here. So that tomorrow, another government will not come and print money in excess to be able to create excessive inflation. That is what we are preventing. Mr. Speaker, we all know that monetary financing is against the progress of a country. And there should be some form of breaks in an act. And that is what this act seeks to do. Mr. Speaker, what we have done here is to mandate the minister responsible for finance to brief Parliament as soon as we reaches the threshold of 5% against previous year's revenue, and to assure the House remedies that they are putting in place to correct those monetary financing. So, Speaker, that is all what we are seeking to do. Mr. Speaker, we are strengthening the hands of Parliament in the law to mandate the minister responsible for finance to appear before you and to account and to tell us the reasons behind the monetary financing, recognizing that monetary financing bleeds unnecessary inflation. Mr. Speaker, that is what we are seeking to do. Mr. Speaker, aside that, today we have a central bank that has negative equity. Mr. Speaker, we are putting in place measures to compel the government of the day to automatically recapitalize the central bank from 2034. Mr. Speaker, this is because it takes a while to move it from negative equity. And so we will gradually move it from negative equity to positive equity and enshrine it in law so that anytime the central bank reaches negative equity position, the government of the day will be compelled to recapitalize the central bank, because this is the central bank of the state. Mr. Speaker, this is best practice. It is done everywhere in the world. Mr. Speaker, let someone challenge me that is not the case in other jurisdictions. That is what it is. And so, Mr. Speaker, this bill is rather strengthening the central bank, not to weaken it. Mr. Speaker, again, let me make this point. And it's important I make this point. Mr. Speaker, after practicing democracy since 1992 and over 30 years of this particular Fourth Republic, we have learned our lessons, and we should certainly learn our lessons. Mr. Speaker, you have a central bank of state where anytime there's a change of government, sometimes it takes up to 12 months. Mr. Speaker, we've seen one that it took 10 months before the board of the central bank was reconstituted. Mr. Speaker, in doing so, what we are seeking to do here is that regardless of a change of government, the central bank, being the central bank of the Republic of Ghana, or the Bank of Ghana, the Central Bank of the Republic of Ghana, must run until the time that the government of the day is ready to change the board.
This is wisdom.
Mr. Speaker, this is because we have seen it happen. Mr. Speaker, I had the privilege to serve on the Central Bank as a board member. I served for 4 years. When there was a change of government, I did not attend board meetings any longer because I felt that I was there to represent the Minister of Finance. It took 7 months before the board was reconstituted. But the central bank must run. Beyond the politics, the central bank must run. And that is why we are saying that there should be a system in place where the central bank, the governing board of the central bank, must be in place until the government of the day decide. And so that is the rendition in the bill. So, Mr. Speaker, all what we are seeking to do here is rather to strengthen the governance, the corporate governance of the central bank, and to give them more powers for them to be able to perform their monetary policy. So, Speaker, let me make this final point. I recall in 2015, this same House debated and approved the current Bank of Ghana Act, amended Act. So, Speaker, the significant difference between what we approved in 2015 and what existed then was the fact that in the past, the Ministry of Finance nominate someone to serve on the Monetary Policy Committee. Mr. Speaker, we felt that impedes on the independence of the central bank. Because, Mr. Speaker, the Constitution guarantees the independence, monetary policy independence for the central bank. In other words, the functional autonomy of the central bank. And so what we seek to do at the time was to move the Ministry of Finance, being the fiscal agency, from the Monetary Policy Committee. Today is a different story. And all of this were done at the time to strengthen the independence of the central bank. Today, the central bank is strong as long as independence is concerned. There is a proposal before this House to go a little bit more. So, Speaker, it is for the House to decide. It is for the House to decide. But all what we are seeking to do here is nothing short of strengthening the central bank to be able to perform their constitutional mandate of price stability and development. That's all. That's all. That's all what we are seeking to do, and not to rather allow the Ministry of Finance to encourage Bank of Ghana to print money. No, it is the reverse. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Minority Leader, I can hear you.
Speaker, with that special leave granted, I was trying to draw my respected colleagues' attention to an important matter, that the issue of the tenure of the board is a matter that has received judicial pronouncement in the Donko case.
Minority Leader, the issue that you are raising is not torn. So why are you trying to patch it?
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, with respect,
It is not broken.
Mr. Speaker, with respect,
Yes.
if you would want to follow the government of this submission, you would realize that the point really is that the argument by the respected finance minister to the effect that when there's a change of government, there is this kind of lacuna in terms of the next board, etc. It is a function of the new government to prioritize its activities, including certain appointments. For instance, Mr. Speaker, it has taken almost 11 months for the Road Fund Board to be reconstituted. That is a matter of priority. Mr. Speaker, in the Donko versus the Republic, Mr. Speaker, the Supreme Court was very clear that the appointment is coterminous with the tenure of the appointor. Therefore, my own view is that even if this proposed amendment receives the blessing of this House, it will be rendered otious by that position
Minority
of the
Leader.
court. So, Mr. Speaker,
you are not getting the indication from me.
Mr. Speaker,
Sometimes you get me to speak too much. The committee has taken a position. Which position is coterminous with what you are saying?
Speaker, I agree.
So that is why I'm telling you
Mr.
that
Speaker,
if the thing is not done, why are you trying to patch it?
Mr. Speaker, I understand
Don't
you.
fix it when it is not broken.
Mr. Speaker, I understand you, but the minister has spoken for Hansen, so I needed to draw his attention. I know, I've followed the proceedings at the committee, and I know the committee's report on this particular matter, but he was here again trying to justify. So I only wanted to draw his attention to that matter. That is all.
Honorable Minister for Roads and Highways.
Mr. Speaker, I agree with the minority leader. Just for the Hansard, nobody has set up road fund board. Nobody has set up road fund board. So I don't know which board you are talking about. There's nothing like road fund board which was set up after 11 months. Let that be the record. So correct. It doesn't exist. The board you are saying have been set up does not exist.
Honorable members, please let us all take it that what we are considering is not the road fund board. We are considering Bank of Ghana amendment bill. So let us all stick to the Bank of Ghana amendment bill. At the conclusion of the debate, the question is, as many as are in favor of the motion, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted.
An act to amend the Bank of Ghana Act 2002 at 612 and provide for related matters.
Honourable members, the Bank of Ghana Amendment Bill is duly read for the second time. Yes, can we turn to order paper addendum, a commencement of public business presentation of papers?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we'll turn to order paper addendum, item 1A, B, 1A and B.
Order paper addendum, item 1A. Minister for Roads and Highways.
contract agreements between the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Roads and Highways, and the Contracting Authority and Accra Kumasi Expressway Limited as the concessionaire.
Honourable members, the paper is duly presented and it is referred to the Committee on Roads and Transport. And I'll add the leadership of the Finance Committee for consideration and reports. Item numbered 1B. Chairman for Education Committee.
Report of the Committee on Education on the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Kumasi Bill 2025.
Honourable members, report duly presented, and it is for distribution to honourable members. Yes, Minority Leader.
Speaker, on item 1A, I just needed clarity. It reads, contract agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Roads and Highways, and the Contracting Authority and Accra Kumasi Expressway Limited as the concessionaire. Mr. Speaker, this paper is being laid. I want to know whether the concessionaire is government owned and when it was incorporated.
Honourable,
no, the minister is here,
honourable member, with all due respect, a presentation of papers, do we ask questions?
Mr. Speaker, I'm not asking questions. The rule requires that if requested, Mr. Speaker, we need some patience here. The rule is clear that an explanatory position on the minister, from the minister, can be made. As a member, I can ask of him. Mr. Speaker, our 97.3 is clear. For the avoidance of doubt, I may want to read that a short explanatory statement shall be made by the person presenting a paper where requested by the House or a member upon presentation.
Yes.
So if I'm asking for
Honourable Minority Leader, if that is what you are asking, I would have allowed the minister to give the short explanation. But in this case, you are asking questions.
No, Mr. Speaker.
That is why,
Mr. Speaker,
that is why I indicated that at presentation of papers, do you ask questions?
Mr. Speaker, don't let us have a back and forth. Let me put it in proper context.
Yes, please do.
Very well. That's okay. That's okay. Mr. Speaker, I rise on order 97.3 to request the minister to provide a short explanatory statement in respect of the paper. Mr. Speaker, I say so because some introductions are being made. One,
Honourable Minority Leader, the rules are clear. So once you have stated your position, let me offer the opportunity to the Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I need to state clearly what I want.
Honourable Minority Leader, it doesn't lie in your mouth to indicate this is what you want or this is what I do not want. The rules state that you have the right to ask the Minister to give an explanation to the paper being introduced in the House. So therefore, I'll ask the Minister in 2 minutes, give your short explanation.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, indeed, this is a concession contract between the government of Ghana and a concessionaire. Details of the incorporation and everything will be available to the committee during consideration, and the report will duly be presented to the House. So I agree with him. The details of the concessionaire and everything will be out. It's 100% owned by government.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Honorable Minister. The referral still stands to the Committee on Roads and Transport, and I'm urging leadership of the Finance Committee to join them and consider the contracts agreement and accordingly report to the House. Yes, Honorable Richard Achampong.
Mr. Speaker, we'll take item 2 on order paper addendum.
Yes, Minister for Finance. Motion number 2 on order paper addendum.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that motion advertised as item 2 on today's order paper addendum, page 1, be taken now. I so move.
Motion move. Any seconder?
The Speaker, I second the motion.
Motion moved and seconded. It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, this is a procedural motion. The question is, as many as are in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Now, the Bank of Ghana Amendment Bill 2025 at consideration stage. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, don't let the continuous rising from the minority front bench irritate you. It's part of democracy. Mr. Speaker, I want clarity. I'm a student of the rules and I'm still learning. By this motion 2 being taken, does that suggest that the interment is to take the bill through consideration stage today and consider everything under certificate of urgency? Is that it? I want to know from the majority front bench. I want to know. Because it is now the norm. It is now the norm from the new majority that every bill, certificate of urgency. If it is so, I want Hansa to record that this all-important bill that has just been introduced, today, everything must be taken. Is that a new norm? Certificate of urgency? Mr. Speaker, this is a new norm. Every bill that is brought, before you realize certificate of urgency. Then we sit in this house, all so far, we sit in this house and civil society organizations will raise issues. When civil society organizations raise issues, then you are quick to come to this house. When parliamentarians are raising matters because of their partisan interests, you don't listen. Mr. Speaker, I would want to say that it would be wrong, Mr. Speaker, to take this bill through certificate of urgency same day. Let's tread cautiously. It happened in the lithium agreement. Honorable Abu Jinapo raised it here. Our colleagues opposite defended it when Imani and other civil society organizations came in and added their voice. You now came to this house humbly withdrawing and now calling for stakeholder consultation. When Parliament, as a people's chamber, can deal with this, if everything we raise, you take it as a partisan matter and you will not listen to us, Mr. Speaker, our democracy will suffer. It shouldn't take civil society to cause you to wake up. We are here to do the needful. You can't take this bill through certificate of urgency. You can't use the rules to say you are taking everything today. What is the urgency? When MPs do not get the opportunity to scrutinize, go ahead. Your masters, the CSOs, will be at your throat.
Honourable members, the rules are clear as to when a procedural motion is supposed to be moved. Bank of Ghana Amendment Bill 2025 at consideration stage. Yes, once the maze has been tilted, please let's proceed. Clause 1.
Section 3 of Act 612
Yes,
amended.
hold on. The minority chief whip.
Speaker, I drew your attention earlier in context 160 order 160167. No, 160. Speaker, with your leave. That Speaker, if you may bear with me. 160. Hmm. 160(2). The Speaker shall refer a bill to appropriate committee for determination of the agency or otherwise of the presentation and first reading. And then if you proceed further, 167 basically talks about second reading. And Speaker, I am saying the practice of this House has been that the two are determined independently. We don't fuse the two together. The earlier report that was submitted by the chair, we had 160 incorporated at 167, where we were basically doing second reading of the bill. And I tried to draw your attention that that is an anomaly. It's not done like that. The determination of the agency of the bill should have been done independently of the second reading. We fuse the two together. It's not done. No, Echampo, no. Nobody is against the bill. We want to
Honorable Minority Chief Whip, can you read Standing Order 1691? Order 1691. Yes.
1691. When a bill has been read a second time, the bill shall pass through a consideration stage in the House, which shall ordinarily not be taken until at least 2 sitting days have elapsed.
So, under what circumstances do we move a procedural motion?
Speaker, with respect, I'm basically drawing our attention to the fact that our practice in this House has been that any time we are engaging in a determination under 160, that is agency of the bill, the report is generated differently from 167, which is second reading. That is basically what I'm saying.
You see, at second reading, the report of the committee is taken together with the motion. That is why Order 167 is telling us that the basis of the debate is the explanatory memorandum and the reports of the committee, which we did at second reading. Now, being masters of our own rule under normal circumstances, 24 hours would have elapsed before we can move to the consideration stage. And 45 by Standing Order 169, a procedural motion was moved and was carried by the House. Then from there, we moved to the consideration stage. So where a procedural motion is moved, I don't know why we are still talking about agency or otherwise.
Speaker,
those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 1 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 2.
Section 3A inserted.
Chairman of the committee.
Speaker, no amendment here. Thank you.
Yes. Honorable Kwajo Opon.
Mr. Speaker, we have a proposed amendment. Mr. Speaker, please give me some latitude. This is a very important piece of legislation. The House has agreed to take it through one day by the suspension that was done earlier. But the least we can do is to take our time and go through it so that we don't create any problems for ourselves. This first one, we'll bring it back at second consideration. Mr. Speaker, there was a question of the independence of the central bank that was raised by the respected minority leader earlier. And there are a number of clauses like this one that, in our interpretation, are taking back the independence of the central bank. This section 3A, or clause 2 of the amendment bill now, it seeks to insert a new section 3A in the original Act 612. Mr. Speaker, please listen to the wording. The Bank of Ghana shall determine the medium-term inflation target jointly with the government. Mr. Speaker, inflation targeting has forever been the preserve of the central bank. Yes, they consult, they talk to various other entities, but it is important to have it clearly known that the central bank has its total independence in inflation targeting. We are proposing that the words jointly with government be deleted so that the rendition will be the bank shall determine the medium-term inflation target. We don't need to legislate that now in determining the medium-term inflation target, they now should go and literally get instructions from government. We think that would be dangerous for the independence of the central bank, and that's why we propose that we delete the words jointly with the government. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, that is the proposal. It is for the consideration of the House. Yes, Honourable Minority Leader.
Speaker, I support this proposed amendment. Mr. Speaker, if you may recall, some 20 or so minutes ago, the minister, in his argument, suggested that this bill will rather ensure a much more independence as needed by the central bank. He again said the amendment is to ensure efficiency. This was to rebut my earlier submission that this bill has been introduced seeks to subordinate the independence of the central bank to the authority of the government. Mr. Speaker, where the government determines the political question, the central bank is there to restrain the politics of the central government and to ensure that the economy is run in a way that would ensure sufficient transparency, clarity, and give assurances to the investing public. Mr. Speaker, how do you enact a law that would say inflation should be jointly determined by the central bank and the government? Oh, are you anticipating your failures already? Mr. Speaker, let's not encourage this. There is nothing independent in this enactment. The independence of the central bank is being chipped away. That is the least I can say. That is if they are not taking away their independence. If you say that it should be jointly determined, who and who? You mean the bank governor should come to the Ministry of Finance, report to you, and if you tell him that, oh, Ghana Statistical Service has these figures, so don't publish it, don't do it, then the governor will say yes, sir. Because in the end, you are the political master. Mr. Speaker, we shouldn't treat this proposed amendment the way we treated the clause 1, where Honorable Opon Kroma made the proposal. And some people did not pay attention, yet they quickly voted against it. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member, the fact that the statement to the effect that some people have not paid attention, yet they
Mr.
voted
Speaker, take that one
it.
out. That's correct. That's correct. That's
okay.
okay. I agree. I think it's fair. It's fair to take that one out. Mr. Speaker, we should not introduce in this enactment. We should not introduce in this enactment any provision that would take away the independence of the central bank. That is the mainstay of the argument coming from the member of Forson Yebi. Why do you want to interfere? Why do you want to interfere? Why do you want to interfere? And then you claim that there's going to be independence. Mr. Speaker, we should support this amendment. We should support this amendment. But I can promise the majority one thing. If they don't listen to us, they are only masters they know, the CSOs. Will summon them back into this chamber. I rest my case.
Yes, let me hear. Minister, just take it easy. Let me hear. I don't go. I'll come right. Honorable Minority Leader, you are up again.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, we had consideration stage.
Yes, I've heard you on this matter already. That's why I'm using the word you are up again.
Mr. Speaker,
am I wrong in saying so?
Mr. Speaker, I appreciate. Mr. Speaker, I have heard the Minister of Education using some very technical terms in an attempt to confuse this House. But Mr. Speaker, the matters are simple in language. The contention of the minority is on the express language used, that there shall be a joint determination of medium-term inflation. Simplicity. All these economies, monetary impact, fiscal impact, that is not the mainstay of the call. The burden of Honorable Opon Nkrumah's submission is to the effect that by introducing this mandatory provision, you will be chipping away the independence of the central bank. That is all he's saying. You've not addressed that. All those who spoke on your side could not address this very important point. And that is the issue. Why would you introduce a mandatory provision? The honorable member for Ifya argued that we know of general consultation. That is not enacted upon. We know that from time to time there are steering committee meetings that are chaired by heads of institutions, including the finance minister. These are part of the general consultation process. But what you are doing now is to bring an enactment that will make it mandatory and subject the governor to your whims and caprices if you find it convenient to do so. But we also know that as a minister, you determine the political question. We had good reasons for saying that the government, the central bank, should be independent. Mr. Speaker, like the honorable member for Ifya said, this is not an enactment for the majority of which they will claim victory or otherwise. We are not in an ego field. It's an enactment to regulate an important sector of the economy for the people of Ghana. Our duty from this side is to draw your attention to some of these errors, some of these overlooks, some of these excesses. It is us who must tell you. You can't legislate to subordinate the authority and independence of the central bank to political authority. You can't do that. Then that amounts to state capture. That the political authority is capturing every independent authority we have in the country. Mr. Speaker, medium-term inflation, that is even what makes it more dangerous. Medium-term inflation, that is what makes it more dangerous. You didn't say may. If it was may, we could accommodate that. But if you say shall, Mr. Speaker, our friends must listen. And when I say it is the CSOs you listen to, I say so on good authority. Because the CSOs themselves published their engagement with the executive and said that what they told the executive is what has been accepted. It's a matter of public record. It's not a phenomarking who is concocting this. Meanwhile, these things, the very things that the CSOs have been telling you and you listen, are the very things we tell you from this side of the house. So why don't you avail yourself to listen to us? Rather, you throw us away, dismiss our views, look down upon our views, and think it's political because we don't share the same ideology with you. No. If you go outside, the CSOs will say the same thing. You cannot say that the Bank of Ghana should determine medium-term inflation jointly with you, the finance minister and the government. You can say that. If you say may, we will accommodate. Even in that may, that means a level of consultation. We can, because the essence of governance is to engage. We accept it. But if you say mandatory, do it. So if they don't do it, you won't allow them to make certain public announcements. Mr. Speaker, I have a problem with that. I think that...
Yes, honorable members, I think we have debated this clause enough. I want to give the opportunity to the finance minister to do his conclusion on this matter. Honorable members, let's concentrate on the bill at stake. Finance Minister, you have the concluding.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I vehemently disagree with the amendment as proposed by the Honorable Kojo Oponkroma. Mr. Speaker, in doing so, let me state for the records that today Ghana is in an IMF program. The IMF, as we all know, is a monetary institution. Mr. Speaker, the global monetary institution or organization is the IMF. And there is no way a government of any country can introduce a bill that seeks to take powers from the monetary authority that the IMF will approve it. Mr. Speaker, the amendment before us is only sticking to international best practice. And Mr. Speaker, let me explain. Mr. Speaker, monetary policy alone cannot anchor inflation. It doesn't matter what you do. Monetary policy or MPC's decision cannot determine what inflation will be. Mr. Speaker, it is a fact that the fiscal policies of the day is what anchors together with the monetary policies the inflation framework. And so if you are to have a budget before you that says that this is where I'm going with inflation, going south, and the central bank is going north, in the end, you will not achieve your inflation targeting. Mr. Speaker, the two institutions of state are conjoined by an act of parliament, the PFM Act, to introduce what we call Economic Policy Coordinating Committee, so that they can talk to each other and anchor economic progress. Right, Honorable Speaker? Most countries today, medium-term inflation targeting is done by the two institutions. When I come here and present a budget statement on behalf of government, Mr. Speaker, and assume that inflation is going to be, say, 8% plus or minus 2. My policies introduced in the budget should anchor that inflation inflation targeting together with the central bank's policies. And so I cannot go south for the central bank to go north. So all what we are seeking to do here is that the medium-term inflation framework must together be developed by these two institutions of state. That's it. That's it. Mr. Speaker, and what we are saying is that Central Bank, your Monetary Policy Committee is extremely independent. Take your decisions. By your target, inflation target, the Ministry of Finance or government is not leaving it only to the Central Bank. Let's plan together. Let's plan together. Let us together anchor inflation. It is the responsibility of any government of the day, to make sure that prices of goods and services does not get out of hand. Mr. Speaker, and so, if today I am seeing food inflation, Central Bank cannot anchor food inflation. Central Bank of Ghana cannot anchor food inflation. It is the responsibility of the government of the day to introduce policies in the fiscal year to reduce food inflation. Bank of Ghana cannot anchor food inflation. What's the role of Central Bank? If prices of food and services, foodstuffs are expensive, what can Central Bank do? Are they Ministry of Agriculture? Are they the one planting cassava and yams? No! It is the fiscal authority, the government of the day. So Central Bank's medium-term inflation targeting must be in sync with government policies. That's all. Mr. Speaker, saying this, I heard a minority leader say that this is state capture. Mr. Speaker, this cannot be state capture. We know what state capture is. We've seen state capture before. State capture is when you get the central bank to print for you 80 billion cedis in one fiscal year. That is state capture. Mr. Speaker, we know what state capture is. We know what state capture is. State capture, let me give you one example, is when you collateralize royalties in the name of Ejapa for 20 years. That is state capture. So, Mr. Speaker, let's put this in proper perspective. What is before us has nothing to do with state capture. What is before us is to make sure that together, as the government of the day, anchor inflation and make sure that prices of goods and services are reduced. Mr. Speaker, that is what we are seeking to do. So, Mr. Speaker, you can propose your amendment, but Mr. Speaker, I beg to say that I oppose that amendment. Thank you very much. I submitted a bill, and the content in the bill was signed by myself to the House. Mr. Speaker, when I submit the bill to the House, it is for the House to take a decision on the matter. I explained that the Act 617, it's 612.
Yes, 612.
We took away the Ministry of Finance's power from the Monetary Policy Committee. I was a deputy minister at the time. Mr. Speaker, I was also a board member at the time. I stayed on the board, I built capacity, and understood how the central bank works. And I was there to coordinate and also understand how public funds are being used. Mr. Speaker, the function of the central bank's board is not monetary policy. It is the operation of the bank. So it has nothing to do with the functions of the central bank. It has to do with the operations of the bank, how they spend the resources of the bank. And at the board, for example, central bank spending huge sums of money building a head office. It's my responsibility at the time to coordinate with my minister and give the information to the minister for action. Mr. Speaker, that was the essence of putting a deputy minister responsible for finance on the board. And the deputy minister responsible for finance has always been there from the inception of the central bank. Mr. Speaker, the decision now is to further limit the powers of the deputy minister who is on the board, so that he will just be there as an observer and eventually report. But, Mr. Speaker, when we went to the committee's position is that the amount of money being spent by the central bank has to do with public funds. And, for example, if the central bank, in the case of today, that the central bank is in negative equity, it's the same Ministry of Finance that will have to look for money and capitalize the bank. And so if the person is on the board and cannot partake in the decision-making that may result in losses, then why is the person there in the first place? But, Mr. Speaker, I made my case as presented in the bill, but it is for the House to take the decision. And I cannot argue against the committee's position. I did it at the committee level, but what is before the House is the committee's position, but my bill says as it is. And so, Mr. Speaker, it is for the House to take the decision on the matter.
Honourable members.
PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow.
nipa comment here to my best of knowledge without any biases. PENDREAM TV.